and religious implications. However, the purpose of this work is neither to apportion blames nor criticize anyone, but to preserve history and to let our younger generations who were not born during the struggle know the kind of songs used to boost the morals of the Biafran soldiers.
Gini kan genyulu, Omo Biafra. Gini kan genyulu, Onye wanyi, nyanya mamiye suroke. Kani mere ndiro, dina magi chuku, jide ha zobo ha ona. Kani mere ndiro, dina magi chuku, jide ha zobo ha ona. Ae muna wanenjera, apireko, ifajuna rerai. Ae muna wanenjera, wanaputa nuzore wande. Wanaputa nuzore wande. Gini kan genyulu, Omo Biafra. Gini kan genyulu, Onye wanyi, nyanya mamiye suroke. Kani mere ndiro, dina magi chuku, jide ha zobo ha ona. Kani mere ndiro, dina magi chuku, jide ha zobo ha ona. Umokoribe muchikerebe nuna yeme. Umokoribe muchikerebe nuna yeme. Beka unu si Biafra. Beka unu neje Biafra yabara o Biafra gane bozo jabiri. Biafra gane ndu. Take my boots off when I die, oh Biafra. Take my clothing to the camp. I need lawyer, give my gun to someone else to fight for fatherland. Biafra, take my boots off when I die. Ojukubeze na la Biafra, edere ya na buri. Awono wane ya Yakubu Gowan. Ewe ikimeri Biafra, Biafra win the war. Amodu Kashelling machine, heavy artillery, bomber fighter. Enye mugo wanting to get my boy belong. Enye mugo wanting to get. Enye mugo wanting to get my boy belong. Enye mugo wanting to get. Umu Biafra, unekwe kwana kagowa chudo. Unekwe kwana kagowa chudo. Ọchịchị ga-esiri aka ojukwu bịa onye eze aya chọrọ ọchịchị gọwa ruo. Ọchịchị ga-esiri aka ojukwu bịa onye eze aya chọrọ ọchịchị gọwa ruo.
Generali, aus Versicherung wird Verbesserung. Manche Dinge kann man hinterher nicht mehr ändern. Aber es gibt eine Versicherung, die es vorher kann. Die sich nicht erst kümmert, wenn
Commando, ebute ya commando. Ebute ya commando. Ebute ya commando. Igbo beri mana ruo Chineke ntị, ọ dị mgbe Chukwu chibai. Igbo beri mana ruo Chineke ntị, ọ dị mgbe Chukwu chibai. Nwoke mara mma chibai, ndị abụmọnụ chibai, ọ dị mgbe Chukwu chibai.
Most of the Biafran war songs aimed derogative invectives of the Nigerian government of oligarchy, who directed the killing of innocent Biafran women and children by imposing blockade on Biafra. All human contact with the outside world was cut off. Hence, the Nigerian military junta added hunger to the already existing weapons of mass destruction in their arsenal. Neither food nor medicine were allowed into Biafra, hence malnutrition begot kwashiorkor, also known as Harold Wilson's syndrome.
We are Biafrans fighting for our freedom. By the name of Jesus, we shall conquer. Hey! We are Biafrans fighting for our freedom. By the name of Jesus, we shall conquer. Iko Biafra fighting for our freedom. By the name of Jesus, we shall conquer. We are Biafrans fighting for our freedom. By the name of Jesus, we shall conquer.
Hello. Good evening to everyone. Right now, monitoring us on the screen. We say to each and every one of you a happy good evening. More especially to those of you who are right now in Biafra land, taking their shots arising from Nigeria's 23rd February presidential election. We really understand their plight over there, the frustrations which everybody is experiencing because of some disappointments along the line. We are always with you at all times. We also have to move down to Asia, where we have our brother there, Echezana Udeze, to say to him good morning. Echezana, good morning to you over there in Japan. And also to Jude Chijoke, who is joining us right now from Lagos. Jude Chijoke, we say to you, welcome to this evening's broadcast.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Also to Sunday Oti, joining us from Lagos. Sunday, you are welcome to this evening's broadcast.
Yeah, good evening, Oracle. Good evening, all friends and well wishers of Biafra. May God bless us all.
To Uchenna Okeke, joining from Makodi, Nigeria. Uchenna, you are welcome. I also have the pleasure welcoming Dr. Chukuma Egemba from London. Dr. Egemba, you are welcome.
Biafra, we got again.
Of course, this, I don't know if he's hearing me now, he is equally welcome to once again Echezra, and to very many others who are already online waiting. Let me start by giving them that particular honor. Omekwe Michael, you are welcome. Then Ben Bros, you are welcome. Chinedu Joseph, equally you are welcome. Chukwe Marie Ifali, you are welcome. Uchenna Wankwo, we welcome you. John Anyawugo, equally welcome. The gentleman that has always insulted the sensibility of our people, Pat Peters, you are welcome also. We have to welcome everybody. After all, we are all Biafrans. Ike Chikokolia, equally welcome. Obiwuru Lawrence, we say welcome to you. Fred Osele, we give you a warm welcome. Oku Dilichuku Ukweze, Chibike Obonna, Ozioma Adan, Kenneth Wekune. We welcome all of you, one after the other. Yes, Oku Dilichuku Ukweze, I have seen you, you are here. Of course, Sonny Emmanuel Wabisi joining us on the screen right away from Biafra land. Thank you, Kenneth Wekwe, for saying, God bless Biafra. God bless Barrister Wazirike and entire members of the crew of the bim-massob and every other Biafran. Ojuku Samuel, we welcome you. Of course, Adiele Augusti, you are with us right now online. Obinna Akaraka, we say welcome. Okesin Blessed. Eseye Imado, Innocent Kano, we say welcome. Somebody is asking, I was playing what song if I'm ready for war. We don't need to be ready for war before we play our war song. We are known for that. Kingsley, Ihezu, John Paul, Kalike, and very many others. I keep on welcoming you as we progress. Thank you very much, all of you who are here. Chesona, I have given you a welcome before, but maybe you were not hearing me. Once again, Chesona from Japan, we say good morning to you and welcome to the program.
Thank you, Kenya. Thank you, Mr. Mo. Thank you, my brother. God bless you.
Thank you very much. To all of you fellow Biafrans who are right now watching us, don't forget I am Ikenna Obibiagonoya, anchor man from our studio, Voice of Biafra International, as well as the Biafra Broadcasting Authority, City of Munich, Germany. We are alive with you right now. Time is 2010, European time, 1710, no please, 1910, London time, and 8 o'clock Biafra time. In Japan, which is now? What's time over there now? 6 or 7 or 8 a.m. What is it?
Hello?
Yeah, what is it the time over there in Japan?
Just 9 minutes after 4 in the
9 minutes after 4 in the morning. You can imagine when HF is getting up from bed to join us in this particular broadcast. A mark of patriotism on his own part. We thank you 1,000 times. I must also once again inform every Biafran that the die is cast. We are not here, like somebody is saying, to preach war, despite the fact that we are trying to some extent to play some of our war songs to remind us of the long ago, because we must continue to honor our heroes past. However, the business of today is not to preach war, I have said, but to review some issues, some anomalies or absurdities going on right now in Lagos State of Nigeria, where the properties and the businesses of the entire Biafran, people are quite under assault. Something arising from their own political leaning or stand on the 23rd of this particular month, when Nigeria sturdily conducted a presidential election. The Igbo people massively took a decision either to vote for one party or the other. But preemptive of the steps they were to take, the Lagos State government, I don't know who sent them, probably organized talks. I cannot say Lagos State government, let me withdraw that statement, I'm sorry. Some people, probably a particular party, had to organize some aggrieved talks, fearing that the presence of the Igbo people in Lagos voting en masse would rather lead them to eventual defeat. In consequence, a group of thugs since yesterday have been terrorizing the entire Igbo business interests, more especially those located at Oshodi. The die is cast. What are we going to do? Are we going to defend ourselves? Are we going to protect our properties over there in Lagos and no longer allow the hoodlums let loose on the streets of Lagos to tamper with their swears we have been laboring for all the years gone by? Or shall we fold our arms and allow this type of anomaly to continue? This is why we are here today. Tell us your mind. Business interests in Lagos. All our shops being burned as we are talking now, it started yesterday. Something that arose because of the stand on 23rd presidential election in Lagos. It is not so in Kaduna, it is not so in Maiduguri, not even so in Kano, where we feared the worst, not even so in any other part of Nigeria, except Lagos, where Igbos own 70% of their property there, and controlling more than 4 million people in Lagos. Now we are being assaulted because we had our own fundamental right to express at the polls. Why are we under strange assault? This is why we are here today. Igbos are asking, are we going to retaliate? Are we going to revenge? All the same, Fede has come out to say no, those towns are not representing the Yoruba race. Rather, a group of hoodlums, let me call them that way, sponsored by a particular party to vent their own passion on my own people. What are we going to do? To fold our arms or to fight it out with them? Not to fight the Yoruba people, rather to discipline these hoodlums. Are we going to send Bakassi? Are we going to send Avengers? Are we going to allow things to happen? I am not here to dictate to any particular person or group of persons. Rather, we are here to offer, to buy ideas from every Biafran, wherever you may be. What are we going to do? What message are we going to send to those in Lagos? Are they going to stay indoors, allow things to take its shape? Or are we going to roll out our wardrobes by shouting Zobu Zobu Enim by Enim? That particular WhatsApp, which when here the Igbos will rise up in mass to defend what is theirs. This is why we are here today. Fellow compatriots, Oja na-agba ya eji ntị ya gere agwọ nọ n'akịrịka. Ele ihe anyị ga-eme. Ihe ndị anyị rụrụ n'ala Lagos kemgbe ụbọchị niile ofu ndị anaghị m ekwu ndị Yoruba kama few persons pụtara ụgbọ na-agba ya ọkụ. Kemgbe taa, kemgbe chi ụbọchị taa gbara afọ, anọ m na-ele anya na Facebook na-ahụ oche ụlọ ndị Igbo ahịa ha na-eche agba ọkụ. Maka na yesterday, today, rather, a sị ha onye emepekwala shop, onye abakwa na shop, eruo na enwere ihe na-aga nọ. Ka ndị Igbo laghachiri azụ, aga were ngwa ahịa ha niile si ego ọkụ ọ na-ere. What are we going to do? This is the question. Let me move down right now to London, where Dr. Egemba is. Dr. Egemba, you may have heard that Igbo business interest in Lagos is under strange assault. A particular group of people, the hoodlums or the towns, I don't know who sent them, but they are trying to vent their passion because of their losses at the post to destroy what our people have left in the past. What are we going to do? What advice do you have to our people in Lagos? Dr. Egemba. But then before you come in, let me not fail to recognize the presence, ever presence of the bim-massob family, who made it possible for us to be here at all times. More especially the bim-massob leader, by extension the Biafra leader, Chief Dr. who made it very, very possible for us to use this particular platform to address our people. We thank him 1,000 times. Over to you now, Dr. Egemba. What advice do you have for our people in Lagos to fold their arms or to come out and defend what is theirs? Dr. Egemba.
Thank you, Nkana. This is a very, 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 very difficult issue we are facing, of which, if it is not handled properly, handled with caution, handled with all amount of carefulness, we will play into the hands of those who are looking for excuses to unleash mayhem on our people. Now, first and foremost, there have been, it is at this time when this type of thing, you now see the need for a centralized, a more or less organized response to issues like this. Before I continue, someone just posted to me, or forwarded to me, reaction of Biafran National Youth League, calling on our people to take up arms and start to fight and this thing. Now, this difficult period we are in, remember, officially, the result of the so-called election of 23rd has not been published yet. Officially, if I am making a mistake on, I don't know what I'm talking about, please, someone who knows better should correct me. But we also know that the two main recognized organizations representing our people has come out forcefully to condemn this. And you yourself has rightly pointed out that this person or persons or group of people sponsored somewhere remotely by a body we don't know, either by a political party or by because when you say a political party now, then you go to the leadership of the political party, then you have to find out what the source of this. This is the more reason why we have to be very, 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 very careful I am not going to support or advise that our people should take up arms, and neither will I say it is they should fold their hands and see their hard-earned investment go into. But this is where leadership of paramount. Now, Hanese has issued statement which I think has the backing of ADF, at least the two principal all Igbo organizations in Lagos, and the Igbo chapter of Lagos. I think they have also let their decision. They are not this time around, and let me underline, nobody is going to take any. We have to be very, very careful, because gone are the days when I think was it in 1993 or so, those in Lagos, or at home should correct me, the what they call Osabiola. I don't know when that was.
1993,
so,
correct.
Yes, right. So that's not gym also anywhere. Anybody, and luckily I have not seen any exodus of anybody. Any part of the country, anybody is, they should stay put there and let there be. Stay there and be yourself. But having said that, remember that the result of this election, as I said, is not yet official. We don't met and their security apparatus what they are planning. We also know that the Fulani hegemonies, the expansionists, their armies, if I may put that way, the jihadists waiting for instruction. And obviously, I cannot say that our people are also ready in equal proportion. You know what I carefully use the word in proportion in every ramification. Remember, he who placed the pipe detects the tune. The federal government has got all the security apparatus under their care, and it will be at the disposal of the Fulanists when anything comes. We know that one very well. So we say we are prepared to an extent, not to equate that with what the federal government has put in place. So I am calling for caution. We will have to be very, very careful, because to use the Nigerian terminology, start now to hit the polity when there's no need, or when it is not time to hit. We might end up hitting it at the wrong time. So I will strongly suggest to play it safe. Be very careful as much as you can, defend yourself. But while our leaders, we should do everything possible to reach out to Fanifere and the other Yoruba and warn them that the consequences of any action. Remember, you have said that 4 million strong Igbo people in Lagos, it is not a child play. I don't know the population of Lagos. In the Lagos state, it is up to 8 million or 10 million or whatever. Right. Even the 4 million you are quoting.
Yeah, no, don't take it back. In all honesty, don't take it back. That 4 million I quoted is the number of registered voters. I didn't ask their children under 18 years old.
The number
registered voters. Yes, registered
then
voters.
If you multiply that by 2, or 2 or 2.5, or even 1.5, then you can then begin to understand. So, in fact, this I was responding to somebody who forwarded me the message from Igbo National Youth League, that listen, whatever that is going to happen, because nobody is going to benefit from it. Nobody is going to claim victory. And I don't even want to start to speculate what is going to happen. This time around, our people are so enraged. They are so angry. They are so embittered that any small thing will set everything ablaze. And nobody is going to be moved from it. Both Tom, Dick, and Harry, nobody is going to be moved from it. So we have to be very, very careful in support of calling for reprisal or for calling for self-defense or calling for this. We have to be very, very careful because we don't know.
Thank you very much, Dr. Gamba. Na Emeka Emeka Jr. is saying, brethren, let us be wise, unite together and fight our enemies. God bless a man of peace and truth. And
by the way, you can sorry,
yes.
Let me continue here. Let me ask. And we have who is that our brother in Lagos? Can I have asked him to give us situation?
Yes, honestly, I'm coming to them.
And also, if there is anybody else listening from Lagos,
yes,
from any part of Lagos, give them opportunity. Ask if there's anybody who is in Lagos from wherever part they are. Let them give us situation reports.
Exactly, Dr. Gamba. I have it in mind because Chijoke is there. Sunday, of course, is there. Bim-massob. We are going to get to them to give us situation reports. And like you said, we must be very, very careful. We don't know who sent anybody. There is a possibility that there is a particular force behind the scene trying to instigate crisis between the Igbos and the Yorubas. And as soon as that starts, they will now come to side one particular group and begin to level our people. For now, we don't have the arms. For now, we don't have the necessary wherewithal to confront any inveterate enemy. That is why we are telling our people, we must eschew violence for now, endure whatever provocation, remain calm, unperturbed, even though we are nursing some grudges. Let us not be in a hurry to take decisions. Let us maintain absolute calm. Let us remain peaceful. For now, until we get instructions from the home base, from the seat of power, we know what to do. This morning, I had a chat with Chief Dr. Wazirike, and he advised me to make sure that we use this particular platform to pacify our people, tell them not to react yet, because we do not know who sent the towns. Good enough, Yinka Odmaki, the Afenifere spokesperson, has tendered unreserved apology on behalf of the Yoruba race that whatever that is happening right now in Lagos against the Igbo people has no endorsement or blessings of the entire Yoruba people, and that we should discountenance all these things. Whoever is sending these people should understand that Igbo population is not a child's play. We wouldn't like a situation where we shall move down to the streets. Nobody is going to escape unscathed. In such a situation, everybody must be a victim. But we don't want a situation where we are going to run into conflict, because Nigeria, as it stands now, is standing on the precipice. Let us avoid igniting anything that is going to burn down the Lagos city, because Lagos is a commercial nerve center of that flagellant federation. If anything happens, that will be the end of it all. Of course, we are praying for the end of Nigeria, but not a situation where we shall begin a fight within the southern flank. No. We are telling our Yoruba neighbors, Yoruba brothers, Yoruba friends, understand that much as we are in Lagos zone, the Yoruba axis, that does not mean that we are going to succumb to any intimidation. Remember, in the field of football, you might win somebody in your own land pitch. You can even win away match. You can go and win away match. Anything that starts, I must inform you, we are going to win our away match. But we don't want to go into the pitch for any particular game. Let us maintain the harmony, the peaceful coexistence that has been happening since years now. Remember, when in the past things like this happened, I don't need to remind you the after effects. You know how it ended. Of course, we never lost. And I wouldn't say you lost, but let us be careful because the enemy is somewhere trying to ginger the Yoruba and the Igbos. And once we start fighting, then we enter and take what belongs to us. Let us be very, very careful. Let me welcome more people who are here with us right now, who have joined us. We like giving them honor because our software is not giving us the accurate figure we have here. Emmanuel Nado, of course, is here. Safiano Abubakar, Innocent Young, Eusebus Eze, we welcome all of you. Chibueze Ugumba, Ekemezie Ezugo, Ben Tobi, Chukwu, welcome. Uzo Obiako, Chukwu Emerie Ifani, you are welcome. Okafo Chukwudi, Chukwuma, Ebuaba Igwe, Ikechukwu Amu, you are welcome. We welcome all of you. Toyawe Ilon, Chukwu Patrick, you are welcome. Tony, Engineer Weke Samuel, Sikole, Nigeria Resources of course, Okechukwu Monica, welcome. Onyekachi, Onyepes, Kasimia Ugu, Amaka Benson, we welcome all of you. Odo Obinna, Emeka Abu, Ihedetu Ayamu, Bonavi Agu, we welcome all of you. Thank you so much, Pat Peters, for at least applauding for the first time we are here, discussing issues that concern Biafra, you and I. Of course, we might have our internal or in-house misunderstandings, but when it comes to external aggression, we are united as one. Of course, Hidetu Anyam is watching from Owelu, I don't know where that place is. Onyekachi Onyebes, Mwabweze Ejeka, you're welcome. Abdurrahman, Admit, Emmanuel Igwe, you are welcome. Gabriel Murako, we welcome all of you. Chukwemeka, Joseph Abase, of course, is here. Nadi Ben, Ebuchuku, Chinedu Ezewaka. I will come back to the screen. Now, fellow competitors, we are talking about Igbo business interests being under strange assault in Lagos by a particular town or hoodlums sent by who I don't know. The question is, are we going to react or to just endure until further provocation? Not until we get, instructions or order from the home front. Let us for now remain calm. Dr. Gaba has said it that we must tread cautiously. Let us not be in a hurry to react. Let us not be in a hurry to react. Remember, we have something in mind, something at the back of our minds. If we begin now to react, they might understand what we have in mind. But for now, let us be friends with our Yoruba neighbors, believing that they do not know what is happening. Maybe some people, the third force, had sent some hoodlums to come and test our resolve. We remain unperturbed. Let us move down to Lagos, where Jude Chijoke is right now, as well as Sunday Oti. The two gentlemen are in Lagos right now. Before we go further, let me call each of them to give us situation report. What exactly is happening in Lagos, the very hot spots where these things are happening, the extent of damage done, the reactions or the mood of our people. Let us move down to Lagos and hear from Jude Chijoke. Jude, over to you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Well, from the area that I was able to cover and presently from the situation on ground, I was at a kind of tension, but because already our people have been pushed to the wall and we are not happy. We are not happy. I don't know how to start. It is very, very sudden, because what happened actually is not something that everyone can easily come and just say this is. It's very, very annoying. I don't know how to start. The point is that they are not happy with us. They are not happy that we were able to gather together, to come together to. They are not happy that we come out, as in we came out in mass to participate, happy that we are, speaking with his. He is very, very certain. I don't know how to put it. Look at the businesses here and there. Everybody in kind of a panic mood. Fears of what? That we went out and we did our normal vote. We did it's very. I don't know how to.
Yeah, this is explained well. Now the question is, Jude, where have you been able to get all the sports information from Oshodi in particular, and probably Okota axis? What is the extent of damage done, and what is the mood of our people over there? Are they thinking of revenge, or are they trying to play cool, pending further instruction from the governments? This is what we're asking.
Okay, presently, this the Okota area, talking of one of our, it's just a normal road, which same road that people normally recognize. But if incidents, there was a tension, and the tension is like a kind of a reprisal attack, a kind of people started panic in terms of shop people that does business.
Please, I don't know, HS, are you with us, HS now? I don't know, HS, are you there? Hello, HS now. HS now with us. I don't know if HS is online with us. Yeah, please. I'm coming to ask you questions. I don't know if you should help me monitor from there. There is someone who is making a kind of noise. I don't know where the angle is coming from. Everybody should please check their own very background, please. Now, Jude, what you are saying is that for now, there is nothing like a retaliatory move by the Igbo people there. Is there anything like that for now?
No, there is none, because there is this Mensa that the minute they gave them some kind of through that area, so they part the area morning and night regularly than as they normally do in the past. Sure that there is no kind of I don't know past, but that is one of the the things that is giving a lot of people confidence. But people please stay late.
Okay, like so what we understand is that for now, there is no form of retaliation on the part of the Igbo people. So,
yes.
Okay,
yes,
that's very good. This is what we want to hear. For now, Igbos have not retaliated, and we wouldn't like them to retaliate. The country is passing through the foundry. This is what we know. The country is passing through the foundry. A lot of changes are going on. We don't know the very direction some of them are heading to. For us not to upset the delicate balance, whereby people will now turn and say, we blame the Igbos. Let us maintain our cool. Sunday Oti, are you still there in Lagos? Hello, Sunday Oti. No, Sunday is not very clear. Okay. Now, from here in Lagos, for your own perspective, could you please brief Biafra the state of things like there in Lagos?
Yes, you can. Are you hearing me?
Yes, we're hearing you clear. Please, Biafra would like to hear from you the explanation of things over there in Lagos.
I can. Hello?
We are ears with you.
Hello, you can.
We are alive with you. Go on. Sunday, you have a very noisy background.
What really happened is that
Sunday, excuse me, you have a noisy background. Control the children there. Control the children there. You have a very noisy background. Sunday, please take the children. There's a kind of roadie movement over there. Let the children remain calm while you talk to us on the situations in Lagos.
What actually happened is that during the election, they organized some talk.
Oh, Sunday, go on. We are alive with you. Only that much noise coming from your background. This is the problem we are having. Oh my God. Sunday OT, if you are hearing me, there's much noise, random movements coming from your background, and we cannot hear you. Please control the movements of the children there. We are not chastising them, but please let them remain calm a bit until you address us. Sunday OT, once again. No, we cannot get him. Now let us go to Japan. Sunday.
There's no project. Amos is from Chinagram. Now he has left the noise is from Chinagram.
Now tell us the situation of things over there in Lagos.
Okay. Can I go on?
Go on, please.
Yeah. Like what actually happened was that they used to fear the they came out very early in the morning, and the people have opened their shops. They made away with their items. They snatched their handsets. Those they snatched first. So before the security agency could come around, they have proceeded to do and move away. Oh, nothing like early morning. Everywhere is full and but some of our able brothers do not struggle. They were like the rest of it and go their.
No, it is not flowing at all.
We are calming them, trying to bring down all the tension, but as it is now, as it is now, everything is under control.
Okay. Oh, that's very good. So, Sunday is reporting. Sunday is reporting from Lagos.
People up till now have not.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sunday. Now, Sunday is reporting to us that right now everything is under control in Lagos. The security forces, have come to the rescue to make sure that there is no continuous breakdown of law and order. And we commend the patience of our people, the understanding, despite the level of provocation, the burning our property, our businesses, and what have you, we remained calm. So we really appreciate, we thank our people for that particular display of understanding. We are saying that we do not know who set those hoodlums. We quite understand anyway, but let us pretend as if we do not know, with the hope that such thing would not repeat itself again. We have to send message across. We have a population in Lagos that can withstand any challenge. That is absolute. It's incontrovertible. We have the necessary wherewithal to withstand any challenge in Lagos and reclaim what is ours. But we don't want a situation where we shall, head into collision with our neighbors. We don't want that. We want to do our businesses wherever we find ourselves, any part of the federation, while not forgetting to talk Biafra. This is what we're talking about. And again, We have to tell our people to always be on guard. You see, when we tell you that east to west gold remains the best, some of you doubt us. This is one of such examples. Let us move down to Japan. Echezona Udeze. Are you there with us still? Hello, Echezona. Yeah, when I talk to Echezona, it takes a little time to get for signal to Japan. I'm back. Yeah, so Echezona, you are aware that since yesterday, our Igbo business interests have been under assault by some touts or hoodlums in Lagos. Echezona, do you support that our people should come out and retaliate, or do we just endure with the hope that such rubbish or madness wouldn't happen again? Echezona, what is your advice to our people in Lagos?
Yeah, like I wrote yesterday on my post, it was 1 year ago post that they want to use some of our people to push us into war. And all we need to do is to calm down. They want to create problem in our midst. They are using both those out in Yoruba land and also our people trying to create war in our land. But in the life of our people, but it will not work. But I could remember since after the war we give to Yoruba people in 1992 up to date, they haven't messed up with us. But the truth remains that our people should calm down because Yoruba peoples, most of them are cowards. They are not really trying to kill anybody or destroy anybody. But what most of them are hungry people who are looking for what to steal from Igbo people. The highest they can do is to steal their Igbo people goods. That's normally that's what they normally do. They store the goods and to eat and to drink whatever they drink. So all our people need to do is to calm down. Everything is going to settle down because as it's going on, they have no reason they have nothing to accuse Igbo of or any reason of doing what they're doing. All they are doing is that they feel that they have the opportunity because some set of useless Igbo people has made them to think that Igbo people are cowards. Since after 1992 battle, Yoruba people has never in their life stepped on Igbo people's foot. But because of too much noise these days, empty noise, empty bragging, they think that all Igbos are empty. But my advice to my people is to calm down because when a madman and the normal person fight, the normal person must lose. No, not worry about it because mad person doesn't have anything. His clothes is teared already, his shoes is teared, everything about him is teared already. He wants to make sure he tear the normal person's bones to be like him. So my advice to my people is to keep calm, keep quiet, and protect themselves. They should not fold their hands, they should protect themselves and guide their lives to make sure that nothing happens. Also, when I hear from our mother who told us that they have put down some security agent who is patrolling up and down, taking care of everything. This is normally how it normally be. They only want to come and steal our property and destruction of our property and nothing more. Thank you, Mr.
Thank you so much, Echezona. You have also spoken, telling our people that we should not react. This might be criminals, hoodlums who are out to steal our goods, to loot our shops. This is what we suspect. At the slightest of any opportunity, any criminal can steal. Let us not give them that particular opportunity. However, Onyekachi Onyebest is saying, na lie, we need Biafra. No Biafra, no peace in the zoo called Nigeria, he's saying, we are going home. This is coming from Onyekachi Onyebest. We also welcome you. Here the two Anyanwu, you say you're watching from Owerri. And Of course, some people are saying that the zoo must fall. Well, we know the zoo shall fall, but we have to reach Biafra land before we allow it to fall. Otherwise, we might be like the Samson. Under a roof, we collapsed it and we become part of the victims. So, we are advising our people in Lagos right now, no matter the level or degree of provocation, do not retaliate. We believe that the security people are equal to the task. Do not forget also that Afenifere has come out to condemn that malady. Let us take their words. Of course, from the home base, Ohanese has said no, do not retaliate. Alibo Development Foundation has said do not react. Of course, from the Biafra headquarters, Chief Dr. Wazika has also said, tell the Igbos not to react, not to fight anybody. Let us be peaceful with our neighbors, waiting for the common enemy. This is what we are hearing right now. And let me welcome, of course, Anayo Omaliko, okay, John Obioma Agazie, Dalit Nofueze, Kevin Ojiji Ogijoso, Okorie, Vincent Abo, Romanus, of course, Peter Obi Chigozie, of course, Chile Bunyeze Steve is watching from London, Oliver Owo, Chibueze Oda Ugonna Osuluele. You are welcome, Augustine. Everyone again, of course, is the engineer Judy Chinedu, Chinemere Passy. You know, somebody this is Chinemere Passy. We are discussing something that concerns the Igbo people, and is there still talking nonsense. You see, that is the level of our reasoning. Then, of course, in every case palace, we must expect the lizards. In Biafra land, we don't expect 100% sanity. Of course, there must be the fools, just like you can have the wise people. We are here discussing issues of common interest. What are we going to do? That our business interests, of course, are under strength assault or attacked by some hoodlums. We are trying to discuss what are we going to do to protect, defend ourselves, or to go all out and teach those people a lesson, just like it happened in the past. But then wise men are saying, no, this time around, let us not follow the madman and run out naked. And then somebody somewhere is talking blah, blah, blah. Well, it's part of the discourse we are having here this evening. Do not forget, we are broadcasting live from you now from the studios of the Voice of Biafra International and the Biafra Broadcasting Authority. Don't forget, Gemba pointed it out that some groups have also said, some are saying, let us go all out and deal with them. Others are saying, no, let us not react. Let us play cool. Let us first of all ascertain who sent the hoodlums or the touts, whether there is an agency behind this or they are acting on their own before we know what to do. Let us not be in a hurry to step out, otherwise we make some mistakes. We must first of all make consultations, discuss with the home base before we know what to do. This is exactly what their suggestions are all about. Let us move on to Makode. Uchenna Okeke, are you there with us? What is your view? Uchenna Okeke from Makode. Yeah, Uchenna Okeke, over to you.
All right, you can hear me?
Yes, clear.
Okay, yeah, I think the wise men and leaders that have spoken, we don't need to jump into action with what actually is the root cause of the market riots. And as our leader have spoken, I think we and be quiet for now as to know the next level of action. So with this, that is to show the world we are more wiser than our enemies. And because we certainly believe that some people are truly up behind this. But with our approach, we prove to them beyond every people that are more wiser than them. So they cannot displace us in the public. But rather we are going
to displace the bodies. We are hearing from our coast in Lagos that will be situation, and with this to the world on the quality of. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Uchenna. No, talking to us right now from Macro Day. Now, Uchenna, before you go, let me ask you a question. Nigeria just conducted the presidential election 2-3 days ago. Our people over there in Benue State, Macro to be precise, were they disenfranchised like it happened in Lagos, or were they allowed to vote according to their own political leaning?
Yeah, in fact, here in Makodi, sincerely want to appreciate all of them. They really allowed all to exercise their rights based on political belief, and that is what exactly the state. There was nothing like there was no riot, there was no problem. Everybody went and in fact we proved to the world that yes, we are there. This has been what happened. That was on Saturday. This has been the highest turnout ever. You know, have been conducting election that the Igbo participated in full. Every of the unit in the city of Makodi, Igbos are the highest in number anywhere you come, and it was to the government of the state. In fact, they are giving a very big thanks to all the Igbo community in Makodi. So thank God for all the things. There was no problem.
Thank you very much, Uchenna Okeke, for giving us brief right away from Makrodi. You know, where our people participated fully, you know, in exercising their fundamental human rights at the polls. That is how it happened. Now, let us move down to Owerri. I know Sonny Emmanuel Wabisi is there right now. Sonny, if you are hearing me, I don't know, what is the station of things at Owerri? How do the people over there, the Igbo people back home in Biafra land, how do they feel hearing that our brothers, you know, shops are being burnt down in Lagos? What is the situation of things over there in Biafra land? Sonny Emmanuel.
Yeah, thank you, my brother. I want to use this opportunity to say each and every one of us who have made it possible to be part of this representative program. The situation of changing right now everywhere is calm, and the situation not being spread anywhere around in the east here, except those who are online. So because all information because is online, and the rumor going on, maybe a kind of having a retaliation or what. So we, our people are making use of their brain. At the same time, I want to comment over what is happening in Lagos. This is not a new thing to us. It's a sign also that these people don't want us and we hard for the liberation of Biafra. All these things are the things that generated this struggle of Biafra to come up. These things have been taking place. So, and at the same time, I thank God for our great leader who have impacted a peaceful mind in the minds of every Igbo man. Majority, many people, science, understand that not every attack that you will retaliate, rather you use. Okay. This is why our leader has been urging our people, bring down your properties down in the east. It is said nobody will destroy your property. But when you are over there, your property, you have to use your brain. Because they know that they are not, that we are not wrong. Brother Dr. Egan now, who have given
to our brothers anywhere they are. So we should carry on. That's mentality. We should carry on with peaceful mind. Even if they attack us, even if they try to push us away, until the necessary come. We are not asking anybody to go and destroy their property back. No, but our people should maintain peace. Like what happened during the election is not that normally happens in Nigerian election. Be disturbed by the outcome of the election because that has been their way. And all these things are the reason why our leader
Okay, now
this is
so,
so everything that happens is the glory of our struggle. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Everything. Yeah, exactly. Don't think about it. I wanted to ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. Then you join the two. You know, arising from this particular burden of Igbo shops and what have you in Lagos, but particularly at Oshodi. Some people are now advocating, telling our people it is high time you all began relocation back to Biafra land. Some people are saying, let me come down. Some people are saying they are there in Lagos because of the seaports. And people are saying no. Even the northerners don't have seaports, but when they import, they carry their container down to the north. Our people can as well import, carry their container down to the east, and let these people come there and buy. So don't think about, do you advocate a situation where our people will begin gradual relocation to Biafra land?
No. Listen. Okay, first and foremost, let me give this information. Since the last time I spoke, I have called up to 3-4 people I know in different parts of Lagos. Those who are wealthy, I can say, relative. There hasn't been anywhere Lagos. This thing that is it's not in Lagos. Even if it is in Lagos, it is not this period. Okay. If we don't show media, we all know it is a force for good, for a force for evil. We have to be very, very careful.
Exactly.
Before you act anything, like indeed when I say, do not operate on social media. Remember that somebody can go to Gavov 2015 or something. Gavov Tire say, oh, this is happening now. Breaking news happening now. Ocean. Jekula is on fire. My two is on fire. Our people has to be. All these things we are talking who Biafran, very, very strong Biafran activist for who, okay, of which if something is happening, we will be in the know. I am also challenging anybody where our brother said it from over. If you know, but people all over, no black about no black man, you will hear your brother will call people at home, who have received the call is of what is happening. We have to be very, very careful. There's nothing happening in Lagos, and things are under control.
Thank you so much.
I was also told in process there is some securities going up and down almost 24/7 to make sure things don't degenerate, and I must be very, very careful. Now, to foolish, foolhardy, we will call it whatever you like for anybody. It's nothing like relocation. Well, people will say, oh, you can be said that, well, if something will happen. Well, as a matter, I live in London. It is by my choice, directly or indirectly. And now, Lagos is part of the capital
for many, many years before they leave to this. So, a stake in Lagos. As a matter of fact, I don't have the statistics. I don't have the statistics. But remember, if to be fair, number of indigents, number of statistics in all ramifications. Yorubas who are claiming ownership of Lagos, you will be struggling if they are up to 1/3 of Lagos. By the way, where is it? It's Lagos. I live in London. There is an area, there is what we call Central London. There's what we call the M25, Inner London. There are people who live 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 miles away. Postcode, those who know London, they have about postcode. We have what we call London postcode. They are only living, their postcode is not very, very far away from London. Manchester and Birmingham is about 2 hours. London. How they say that have you on Lagos, London every day. So when you talk about Lagos, where is Lagos by the way? Is it currently Lagos? Part of Ondo State. Many of our people live in Ondo State, hasn't have Lagos. So if you are to define Lagos, where is Lagos? There is nothing like Lawa. Where are you going to live this info? With this time around? But if I have my way, what I would suggest, if I am in the position of authority to advise people, I would say, when we go investor, let us fight from where we are. Wherever you are, that is a war front. Because most of our people own their property. They are renting from the. If people are to vacate, it is owned by Yoruba. We all know what happened in Lagos. I'm sorry. We all know what happened in so-called. I understand that some even other and some the Yoruba people are even begging because when the time the increase en mass, Lagos is always a ghost town. So if on the other way around, if it is possible, listen to carefully. If it is possible, say, if it is possible, so everybody, deep, Tom and Harry, who has Igbo connection, not just Igbo people alone, or everything begin from A to Z. Have Lagos, wherever you are. What do you think that's going to happen to Lagos?
It will be a ghost nation.
Igbos well. You say Igbos well. Igbos are living in their house. Report to them. Without the money coming from Igbo shops, they are not going to. Igbos land obey. Lagos is no mas. Those who knows the history will say, all the episode beginning. So they are doing all this in order to go and are you going to allow that? Remember, we have not recovered it from the abandoned property of communities. We cannot allow that. It will be a battlefront this time around. Nobody should go anywhere.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Gemba, for that contribution. Now, what Dr. Gemba is saying, suggesting, or giving as advice, Igbos should not contemplate relocating anywhere, even for now or in the future. Don't contemplate relocating to Biafra land, much as we must always visit home. The reasons are obvious. 70% of their properties in Lagos belong to the Igbos. 70%, I am not exaggerating. 70% of Igbo properties are in Lagos. If we relocate, if we vacate Lagos, who takes charge of all these things? Who takes control? Do not forget, my people, there are a lot of lazy people in Lagos, of course, of Yoruba extraction. Just like this Adeyinka grandson, who is ranting from London, a noise maker who is up to nothing. A poor, wretched fellow. He is talking about fighting the Igbos in Lagos when he is in London. We had expected him to move down to Lagos and lead the operation. Instead, from a remote end of London, he is ranting, telling his people to burn down Igbo property and what have you. He is a lazy human being. He has no inheritance at all. So he wants a situation where Igbos would packet and he would stagger back home to inherit our property. It cannot happen. He has to come home, buy land in Lagos and build his own house. No Igbo person should abandon their own property thinking of going back to Biafra land or to Igbo land. No. We own 70% of the property and we have come there to stay. Do not forget, just like anybody says, take it or leave it. Lagos is no man's land. It was a federal capital territory. And insofar as Nigeria has not divided her property within the various geopolitical zones, we have a stake in Lagos. And we make bold to say that for now, Lagos is no man's land. If you sell your property, if you sell your land to strangers, to foreigners, invariably, the person that bought that property is the owner. We have bought over Lagos. So where are we going to? Tell me. Many of us live abroad with having property. Of course, we're not going to abandon them. Why then must we abandon the one over there in Nigeria? Lagos belongs to the Igbos. Take, for example, just like Dr. Yamba pointed out, rightly, of course, during festivals and some other festivities, Igbos will troop down back to Igbo land. That very period, all the motorway buses, all the downfall buses will vacate and cross the river Niger. That is when they will discover that all these buses and fly Lagos roads belong to the Igbos. Of course, some time ago, 1993, during the Abiola crisis, of course, I was in Lagos, a youth corps. They call it also Abiola. That time, the Igbos left Lagos in droves. Lagos became a ghost nation. From Oshodi, you could see somebody in Agege. From Oshodi, you see somebody in Maitu. From Oshodi, you see somebody in Mai 12. From Mai 12, you see somebody in Yaba. Lagos became vacated. A Hausa man talking on Nigerian Television Authority, Victoria Island, Lagos. Of course, 88 and 82. The man said, oh, Yoruba people, you talk of Lagos, Lagos. Do you see now that Igbos own Lagos? Do you see that Igbos own Lagos? Just Igbos vacated Lagos. Every business activity crumbled in Lagos. Why then do people make noise about ownership of Lagos? We should not mind them. Of course, don't forget we have very good Yoruba persons. Today, I was chatting with a very gentle Yoruba friend. Of course, this is a lady. And she said, "Lo, Ikenna, tell your people that these are criminals trying to cause commotion. That even the Adeyinka grandson in London talking, he is being paid by some people to create a acrimony between the Yoruba and the Igbo." A Yoruba lady told me this today, that Adeyinka grandson in London, who is talking jazz, is being sponsored by some people that be to create acrimony between the Igbo and the Yoruba for them to use it as a kind of divide and rule tactics and then continue to load it over us. We wouldn't like to give him that chance. If Adeyinka grandson is very much serious about what he's talking, why not he come back home? But he's been a coward. He cannot try it. So, we have come to look, Igbos, if you have money, to me, let me be honest with you, I wouldn't buy property in Lagos. I would prefer in Aba, Umaya, Owerri, Enugu, Oka, Port Harcourt, Yedegwa, Ikota Ekpere or Calabar. I would prefer or even Asaba to buy property any of these Biafran capitals than to buy it in Lagos. Lagos is congested. I don't even like staying there. The few days I stayed in Lagos during January, oh my God, I said, what a hell. So let us think east, much as we keep our property down there in Lagos. Of course, we are expecting some contribution from our listeners, whether by writing or through writing. Tell us your mind. We are here to inform our people what you have said. Members of the queue, of course, the floor is still open. Tell us what you have in mind. Should the Igbos relocate or should we stay put in Lagos? Gentlemen, over to you. Yeah, let me ask them. Valentine Bogodi, are you there? Yeah, please speak up. Let us hear you. Yes.
I want to do something is that should not make one of the reasons I built their businesses for years, and it is not easy for you to argue in the treatment of a man or just of a little riot. And no, it is not done anywhere alone. It is non-violence, not excellence. So wherever you are, you have the place and take care of everything that is going on. So I'm not in support that at this time. Thanking to what happened here. A friend called me, he was in that contact absence. And when we were talking, I was hearing the sound of guns at the back. And when I asked, he said that there was riot. It was being motivated by some people, or maybe some people motivated so that there will be riot between them and people staying in that area. So I am advising our brothers not to fight back, to start making trouble, that you should shield yourself from people. So you shield it and what are the situations on ground. So that our people should be careful, they should also be watchful.
Okay, thank you very much, Valentine, for talking to us from Port Harcourt. Let me welcome Sonny Anozie, Gret, Henry, Chidi, Okoro, John Obichukwu, Ja Kingdom, of course, I don't know, Ono Cliff, Wachineke Ebube Biafra, Michael Angelo. Okorie Descent is saying, good evening to all bim-massob in the world. God bless you all in Jesus' name. Amen. Let me accept that. And he's saying, Chief Barsa Sa, R.I.O. Wazrike, or R.L. Wazrike, all eyes are on you now. Please do something. Thanks. Yes, Okorie Descent, we know all eyes are on him, but doing something, he has already done it by asking us to make sure we wouldn't preach war here or retaliation, that we should rather make peace with our neighbors. And God so kind, those in Lagos have confirmed that no shops were burnt. Even Dr. Egemba had to call some people in Lagos now, and the information derived is that no shops were burnt at all. These are mischief makers who delved into archives and brought down incidents of the past, projected them in the present time as if they are happening right now in Lagos in order to create tension. So we have discovered everything. That is why we are here, to give you updates. So we are telling Igbos, no shops were burnt in Lagos. I repeat, no shops were burnt in Lagos. What you are seeing today on social media is or are what happened in the past at unknown or isolated locations. So mischief makers had to bring them up to claim that these are Igbo properties, not to instigate crisis between the Yoruba and the Igbo. We have gone beyond that. Chukwu Ebuka Ogodokwe, you are welcome also. Ikechukwu Abaso. and lot of others. So, you have had it all. No shops were burnt in Lagos, contrary to what we have heard since yesterday. So, these are hoodlums, mischief makers, people posting rubbish on social media. That is why we are into investigative journalism. We don't just take actions or conclude without investigating. We have now confirmed, thanks to Dr. Gamba, who reached out to 3 or 4 persons in Lagos right now, who told him in plain language, no Igbo shops were burnt. So to those of you who are trying to jump into CEO Motors or Ekes or whatever, to move down to Lagos to begin the retaliation, don't bother yourself. Stay back at Aba or Onitsha or elsewhere and do your normal business. All is well. Equally, those in Lagos have confirmed that the security people are in control of the situation to make sure there is no breakdown of law and order. So we thank those who have been giving us this particular online, on-hand information. And this is what we are feeding you back with, for you not to take laws into your hands. We know we are in a very dicey situation right now in Nigeria. There is anxiety. But then let nobody run out of control. Control yourself, checkmate your emotions, take care of your temperaments, and make sure you are not let loose. Remember, we wouldn't like to hear had I known. Not when you drag yourself to the streets, you cause mayhem, and when they shoot you down, you become a problem to your people. We don't want to lose any of ours. We have said it all. We are not relocating. We have to stay in Lagos because we have built Lagos. Just like Abuja. Sometime 1999, no, not 1999, please. That was a year before Obasanjo handed over, when El-Rufai was Minister, Federal Capital Territory. El-Rufai said it all. As of that time, how many years ago, not to think of now, that 70% of the property in Abuja belonged to the Igbos. El-Rufai said it. I heard him, I listened to the audio as well as the video clips. 70% of property in Abuja, this was more than 10 years ago, belonged to the Igbos. Not to think of now. Now, if 70% belong to the Igbos, Abuja that was built a few years ago during the Babangida regime. Now, think of Lagos that has been there from time immemorial. What do you think? Even when we talk of 70% property belonging to Igbos in Lagos, it's a conservative estimate. We have to be honest with you. It's a conservative estimate. Take, for example, now, number of registered voters as displayed by INEC. Let us be clear. I saw it all. INEC displayed number of registered voters in Lagos State. Lagos State, 7.3 or 4 million. 7.3 or 4 million registered voters. I stand to be corrected, but it's not less than 7 million. Out of this 7.3 or 4 million, Igbos alone garnered 3.2 million. 3.2 million. Now, only those above 18 years. Even those above 18 years, not all of them registered. Remember, some obeyed IPOB instructions not to get involved. So, very many did not register. Even there were others, because of their premium their place on their own businesses, they didn't bother to register. So, only those who registered, 3.2 million Igbos alone. How many remaining in Lagos? Now, how many the Yoruba, how many Ijaw people, how many Efik people, how many Hausas? Apart from that, how many Ghanaians? People from the Republic, other countries in Africa who are resident in Lagos. You can imagine that. Igbos alone, 3.something billion. Come on. Then Lagos is divided into equal parts. Where them and why they must we relocate? Now, if you add up number of Igbo children who are under 18 and could not be registered, my God, what do you think? What do you think? So, we are as good as them. Let us say, that city belongs to us. Let those who ran from London, like Adeyinka grandson or grandchild, Let him talk and talk and talk. He will die of frustration. We have taken over Lagos. We are the landlords of Lagos. I am not saying this to instigate any, bitter emotions. No, I'm stating the obvious. All we are saying is, let the Yoruba live in Lagos, let the Igbo live in Lagos, let any other person equally live in Lagos, because it is a no man's land. This is what we are saying. Gentlemen, HS and Udes, I don't know if you are still there with us. We are trying to share views on what is happening over there in Lagos, where some people are trying to instigate crisis for us to begin to fight. We have come, or rather, we have gone beyond that. So let us take a little bit of Biafra music. Okay.
Ambush. Where everyone medicine Wakandiro. Imena Ojuku Imena. Imena Ojuku Imena. Imena Ojuku Imena. Agabesoro Makibe Mule Ambush. Where everyone medicine Wakandiro. Imena Ojuku Imena. Nkume mbebi ebikwe ka msoro n'ime gị. Nkume mbebi ebikwe ka msoro n'ime gị. Biafra na mara mma kwe ka msoro n'ime gị. Nkume mbebi ebikwe ka msoro n'ime gị. O mere na ọma bụ kpakpọ ma jijiji ọma rụrụ. Nkume mbebi ebikwe ka msoro n'ime gị. Enyi lele, enyi Biafra lala, enyi lele, enyi Biafra lala. Jedekwa n'ọkigwe se tọkwala Biafra. Jedekwa n'Enugu se tọkwala Biafra. Jedekwa n'Ọnịcha se tọkwala Biafra. Enyi o, enyi o, enyi o, enyi o, enyi.
Thank you very much. We take it brief like that. Music Biafra. If you continue to sing now, we might take up arms against our enemies. That is why I had to halt it, because that is a war song. Whenever it plays, our emotions are rest. We halt them. Now, this afternoon, I was on WhatsApp chat with my, let me say, my good friends, my classmates, then in the University of Benin. So while we were, discussing some issues concerning Nigeria right now, some people mentioned that it would be appropriate, or it would be proper for Nigeria to get fragmented. Of course, I quickly bought the idea because all along I've been a Biafran advocate. But there are people who said no, that Biafra opting out of Nigeria will not be in their best interest because we are landlocked. I said no, forget that age-old propaganda. We are landlocked. Who told you we are landlocked? Where is Azumini? He's in Biafra land. Go to the whole of Ukwa Abia area. We have access to the seas. And what do you mean? The whole of Niger Delta, everywhere is part of Biafra. They make no mistake about it. But then, I didn't want to, accept that particular, statement he made. I said, come on. If you use access to the sea as a measure for economic prosperity, what do you think of Somalia? That was the question I asked. What do you think of Somalia? Why is Somalia not the economic capital of the world? What of Portugal? What of Philippines? The Philippines? What of Madagascar? And some other countries in the middle of the Atlantic or the Pacific Ocean. So why are these countries not the economic capitals of the world? Now I ask again, let us take an example with Germany. Germany is in the middle of Europe with a little narrow access to the sea, somewhere in Hamburg. Very narrow access. Yet Germany is the economic powerhouse of Europe. Very many other countries that have the economic boom that are there measuring up. don't even have access to the seas. I told this person that, look, I am a Biafran, I am Igbo. If we don't have access to the seas, we can dig the ground and go there, join the underneath waters. That we can even fly without going through the Nigerian airspace. We know what to do. Just give us a chance, tell us where to stand, and we people come to say Igbos are landlocked, Biafra is landlocked. Forget that one. It's an old propaganda. How many countries in the world have access to the sea? Are they not surviving? Give us a chance first of all and see what we can do. With our own technology, we can even fly up, go to the sun and the moon, and go to any part of the world. What we are going to do is not a problem. But then it is this fear of Biafra that knows their timid heart. Landlocked, landlocked. Let no Biafran, let no Igbo person buy this age-old propaganda. It's too outdated. So, when someone tells you Igbo or Biafra is landlocked, as a person, is Calabar, Cross Rivers, Bayelsa Rivers, even part of the Delta. Are they not a part, are they not Biafra land that will have whatever it takes? The Yoruba axis that claim everything, they have access to the land, to the sea. But then, the Biafrans there maintain the economic hub. So what do you think? Dr. Gemba, they always say Igbos are, or Biafra is landlocked and we cannot survive if we go. Do you subscribe to that age-old propaganda? I don't know if you heard me very well. Yeah, maybe I lost him. So let us do this and get him
onye mbuzo gabu onye bazu na chukwu ekwena anyị na-aga n'iru ịlaghachi azụ bọọlụ anyị na-aga n'iru ịlaghachi azụ bọọlụ nna agbalụ afụfụ niile tara n'ụwa na-agbalụ ndị iro niile nwere ụwa na-agbalụ afụfụ niile tara n'ụwa na-agbalụ afụfụ niile tara n'ụwa na-agbalụ. My mother, don't you worry. My father, don't you worry. If I happen to die in the battlefield, never mind, we shall meet again. My mother, don't you worry. My father, don't you worry. If I happen to die in the battlefield.
Okay, so we take that away for now and go back to the discussions of the day. Gentlemen, are you still there with me? I don't know if Dr. Kempa is here. Sonny, Emmanuel Wabisi, Valentine Bogoji, you are there. Eches and Utesi, Judy Chijoke, Vincent Tekene, all of you are there. Michael Kaha, you are there. Mention them, Tony Moneke, of course, and lot more. Some are able to talk to us, others are not because of their commitments to evening duty. We appreciate all of you. So, tell us your mind. We are waiting. Biafrans want to hear from you.
Peter thank you very much. Sein ganzes Leben.
Go on, Jude. Thank you.
Okay. Well, in regard the topic you just touched, I believe we have discussed it in the past, and we were able to elaborate on it very, very well at that particular period in regard of those that are carrying propaganda, saying things that is going to discourage people from supporting Biafra. They used all kinds of manner in terms of telling us that we are landlocked. But we are not period in regard of those that are carrying propaganda, saying things we believe that is going to discourage people from supporting Biafra.
Yeah, sorry,
Use all kinds of
sorry, please.
telling us that we are landlocked. But we are not period in regard.
Sorry, please. The fault was go on, Jude. Go on.
Yes, like I'm saying, we are the people. Things happen. There's a saying that says, anywhere you go and you don't see Igbo people, you should do what? Pack your bags and leave. So, those propaganda are something that is a past tense. Like the last time I could remember you said, even if we are landlocked, are we also air barricade or are we also air blocked? We can make things happen. There is no way that we find ourselves that we doesn't survive. We always survive. We survived in all kinds of situations. That is not going to even be something that I will put much of my interest in trying to, but what actually touches me the most is in the area of this particular election, because it is let me just put it this way. I thank God for the election that has happened so far and the success that has been recorded, because this particular election has a lot of lessons for Biafrans. And when I talk of lessons, I'm talking of a very big lessons that we should learn one or two things from it. First of all, we have leaders. We have leaders, but our problem is usually that we don't listen to our leaders. We have leaders of great minds, wisdom, leaders with great sight, and leaders with that has far visions. It was someone that said that we should ensure that we got our PVC and participate on this particular election. But there is another person that said we should not bother. We should leave anything concerned. We shouldn't get our people. We should boycott the election. But today, I think we have seen the way it happens. On the same day, a lot of people are in their sitting room. A lot of people were lying down, praying, hoping that change will come. How will that change? How will that change come when you have disenfranchised yourself? But I thank God for Chief Dr. Ralph Mosilike, because he is the man that stood this all the names that people call and trying to see if they can be able to link him to whatever, calling him betrayer or calling him whatever. He still insists that the way we should go is we have to ensure that we put the people that our own people, we ensure that we put our own people in the position. We don't have to stay by the side all the time, thinking that something is going to fall from heaven and the change is going to fall from heaven and we are going to get everything that we have been fighting or asking for in the platter of food. It doesn't come that way. I thank God for such a leader, because from the little inquiry, the little investigation that I've been able to gather around, there are some Igbo people here that they tell you that they can never support Biafra, all because of their properties. They own properties in Lagos, they own buildings, own shops, own a lot of things which they believe that it is theirs, and they don't want to support our freedom of we going, all because of their own property. They don't want to lose it. They believe that if you go, they lose their property. But today, what happened during the election? With your property, you were not also allowed to vote. With your property, your vote was brought out in the right in your presence and was burned. With your property, your vote was destroyed and thrown away in the gutter. And a lot of them started looking the other way around. And that is exactly where I now came in and I now asked, at thought you are the one that said you are not going to support Biafra because of your property. You are just looking. Okay, now, you think you are a resident of here, you think you are a resident in this particular place, you believe you own this, you own that, but presently you are not allowed to just to cast your own vote, even presently as a Nigerian. What a shame. So a lot of them were so, full of shame, and they realized that there is no other way than to support our total freedom. But it is not by violence, it is not by force, it is a peaceful something that we have to continue. And I made them to understand. You have to support Biafra to secure that your same property. It is only the Biafran government, it is only the Biafran people coming together that is going to ensure that whatever property you have in overseas or in outside of Biafran land is secured. And that is when a lot of people see it that yes, we are beginning to come together, we are beginning to make sense. Leaving your property, it is not a good idea. Like we have said earlier on, we are not planning to go leaving your property in Lagos and running away. It is not the way out. The best way is support Biafra to secure that same property. You don't deny your freedom, your people that they are fighting for freedom, all because you own property. But today you are not allowed to vote. Your votes were not counted. You saw the way your votes were being thrown away. All the areas where mostly the dominant Biafrans were located, they ensured that those places they were a problem. So the votes over there will be nullified and cancelled. So tell me, what could have happened the other way around? So I say continue to thank God, from our last broadcast, we were able to touch some areas, and we thank God that the boycott of the election was called off. But we saw the effects. We saw the negative effects, most especially in other states, because a lot of people that were told that there is no, there won't be election, there won't be this, there won't be that. A lot of them never believed that at the last minute that they will call off such. And today, when we are there during the election, they couldn't participate. They were disenfranchised. And today, the same person you have claimed that have been killing you and doesn't want you that has been holding you hostage is the same man that is going to come because you refuse to participate to ensure that you save your voice. So it is not a good thing, and at the same time, a lot of people who make threats, all those ones that came on air and made threats and that they are going to slaughter people, kill people, all in the name of boycott, election boycott. Today, they should go and do Thanksgiving. I keep saying that they should go and thank God, because the plot to destabilize most of those polling units, the credit could have gone to them, and by now they could have been chased by either the DSS or the security, agencies and there is no evidence than video. You made a video saying that you are going to disrupt the election. What else do you need? So I thank God that we have a leader. We have a leader that have a foresight. We have a leader that have told our people that the way we are going to go, the way we are going to get our independence, the way we are going to get our freedom is to choose the way of non-violence. But since we are still in Nigeria, we are going to be participating on everything that is happening in Nigeria. This is how we are going to practice what is different between the referendum and the same election. It is all just name. It's all by vote. So if we cannot learn a lesson from this, I really learned a lot. So I really give thanks to people that came out. At least we saw some changes. We saw some people that couldn't come back to their political positions. At the same time, we saw some new ones. But had it been that the so-called person that called for a boycott of election did one thing, call all Biafrans at the same time, telling them to ensure that they get their PVC and they ensure that they vote out those evil people that have been killing us and vote the right people into position. Tell me, what do you think that, how do you think it could have been today? We could have been more better off. We could have used our vote to push our people to the right position. So these are the lessons. So let's say we have to lick our wounds, pick up the pieces, and then forge ahead. But like you have, like Ikena have also said, violence is not the way. We have been told to be calm. Like I said, in the area of this Agor Okota, it's just a normal road where people normally flies. You see shops, you see people, you do business with people daily, day in, day out. It's a normal busy route. But all in a sudden, there was panic. All because you came out, all because we came out and with a single voice to come and vote. So they were shocked. A lot of people were not happy because we were about to decide who are going to be the ones that is going to be leading us in this community, in the Senate and in the House of Rep. So they are afraid of us coming together. That is just their own lesson. All the areas they know that we are dominated, they ensure that the votes of those areas are the same thing. In the future, if we do not, but that is not going to deter us anyway. We know that we are going to continue to participate to ensure that our vote counts. Because why do they end up burning it? Why do they end up if the same vote doesn't count? You sit at home. It's nothing. There is nothing the difference can make. If 5 people can make the difference. All the same, I thank God for the lessons. I thank God for the leaders. Talking of the 2 leaders that have given us, guidance that we have been following today. No long life to our able leader, so he can be able to and successfully to eventually our freedom Biafra. Let me leave it there for us to come. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Jude Joke. Let me from Onitsha welcome Onyeka Vitalis. Onyeka Vitalis, we give you a welcome. You are sending us message saying you are watching from Onitsha. We also welcome Chidi Charles Obede, Ihechukwu Ezekiel, Onyenwo Asachaha, Patience Mbanoi. Of course, Patience Mbanoi Aloi is watching us from here in Germany. We welcome John Ihedioha Anayochi. He's saying bim-massob is the only solution. Of course, Ugo Kepon is saying up bim-massob. Chukwuemeka Joseph Abaze is saluting every Biafra. He's saying that that is a message from Chukwuemeka Joseph Abaze. He says, I'm living along Yaba axis of Lagos. There is calm everywhere. There is calm around here. That is a message from Lagos. We want to be sure that everywhere is calm. We want to assure our people that nobody, no Yoruba people are attacking our shops or whatever. So Chukwuemeka Joseph Abaze is giving us message from Lagos that he lives along the Yaba axis of Lagos and everywhere is relatively calm. Of course, Okorie Vincent is saying that Biafra can never be landlocked because he knows about Azumini where we have access to the Atlantic Ocean. Of course, Ma Anozie, we welcome you. Onyeka Vitalis, we welcome you. Uche Nwafo, Tenet Work, I have already welcomed you before. And very many others. We keep on welcoming you as you join us in this particular program. So this is what is happening. On our radio, we are trying to play a little video which we had in the past. Celebration. That's the tune of being singing. Kaiga is a grand music. Kaiga go ahead and what is playing here, of course. That's why we keep on advising what our enemies that we have the wherewithal to find any sort of challenge, only that we don't want to be on anybody because we are a peaceful people. So we keep on advising those who might be our distractors to be very, very careful. As Biafrans are very, very peaceful, as Biafrans we might understand them, as Biafrans we like living, in peace and at peace with our neighbors. We wouldn't like to be proposed, we wouldn't like to be taken for granted. We must make sure we live in harmony. Biafra is alive. Yeah, that's the music to play on our radio. We are broadcasting simultaneously on both vobi and BBM. So those who cannot watch our program live on the screen, you can join us on radio. It's the same thing you will hear, only you cannot see us. You would rather see some clips playing on our radio. Thank you very much to the members of the bim-massob for displaying that particular, music of the past that which we are known for. Of course, we were listening to Valentine before. We couldn't get him. Likewise, Edges and Sunday and lot more. Gentlemen of the crew, of course, and everybody out there watching us. We are almost coming to the conclusion of this evening's broadcast. Remember, we always take 2 hours. Anytime we are not having interview, we take 2 hours to address our people, and 2 hours is quite good enough. We don't have to be here talking till infinity. We welcome, of course, Chika Edward, who is just coming there, to Onyeka Vitalis, of course, Charles Aden, to Patrick Zemenam, Ake Uchionwa, Biafra, Chao Mahama, of course, I don't know from where you are watching, but that is an Islamic name, of course. Let me see what Okode said is right. He said because they are having, I don't know. Okay, Okode said is that insofar as Biafra is concerned, we have whatever we can. We have everything at all to build our country Biafra, even to surpass any other country in the world, be it US, Germany, or Britain. Yes. Ikenna Ogunka, of course, is the Valentine of God is watching for Port Harcourt, member of the P, so Solomon, and then Hasid the Dennis, and what more. All these people are here with us. We keep on giving you that particular recognition because you are part and parcel of this broadcast. We talk to you and you talk to us back. So, gentlemen, we have less than 10 minutes to end this particular program. If anybody has any further contributions to make regarding what we have been discussing, you are free to talk to us now. Otherwise, we call it today because we have virtually briefly discussed the topic of the day. So, and we thank you so much. Of course, we are getting information that PDP is rejecting the presidential election result on ground that it is highly manipulated, that the results issued by INEC, do not reflect the wishes of the people. This is what we are having right now. So, members of the crew, if you don't have anything further to contribute, we can now come to the conclusion of this evening's broadcast. Of course, we are getting some messages from Abuja saying the die is still cast and all is not well, as there is pent-up emotion from here and there. Let me welcome Amaka Benson, of course. You are welcome to our program, Clement Ovie. So, very more people are still joining us, even though we are coming to the conclusion of this evening's broadcast. So, we must keep on thanking you. We must keep on again and again to thank you as we draw to a conclusion of this particular evening program. Don't forget, we have been discussing with you on the studios of the Voice of Biafra International and the Biafra Broadcasting Authority. All along, it has been Ikenna Obibi Egono. Let us take more of Igbo Biafra song. I sincerely apologize. I'm trying to tune a particular Biafran song. So, okay, I'm really sorry. I cannot correct it. There is a kind of technical hitches here. So, gentlemen, I don't know if you have anything to say by word of conclusion.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me?
Yes, we are hearing you clear.
This is Valentine Brody from Port Harcourt. I want to thank everybody that was part of our broadcast tonight. And I want to tell people that the Port Harcourt, some areas were peaceful, and there are some areas where we have onshore where the elections could not take place. But the area where I was is very peaceful. So I want to thank all that were part of our program tonight. And I also want to plead that we should endeavor to hold a violence-free elections. Elections shouldn't cause violence. It is just an act of voting to choose who will lead us in this country, and it does not call for violence. So people should learn to conduct a violence-free election. That is my concluding comments for tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Valentine, for giving us that particular advice. Now, the Biafran song. We thank you so much for being part of this program. We thank you for your contributions. We thank you for your suggestions. We thank you for your advice. We so much appreciate you, fellow compatriots, fellow Biafrans. We thank all our people in Lagos for not reacting spontaneously against the perceived or unperceived enemy. We quite understand that you are being provoked on a daily basis, but keep on enduring. One day, a Deus ex machina will come from nowhere to take us away from Egypt back to the promised land. There will be a time when the enemies will look for us, they will not find us. And then they will go extra miles to seek our favor. That will be a time they shall be looking for Biafran visa to enter our homeland. It is a matter of time, and we are almost there. No suffering lasts forever. No bondage, no exile lasts forever. Everything is but for a season. And for us, and to us right now, whatever happens, happens for a purpose. There will be a time when providence from on high shall visit his own people. That time you shall hear, take up your things, take your children, and go home and leave Nigeria alone. Of course, we shall go. That has been our dream. To those who are waiting, have the patience. To those who are awake, have the patience. Those who are walking, those who are running, have the patience. For the time shall come when we will cross the river Niger, and then with one mind filled with joys, we shall begin to celebrate our new independence. Until then, remain blessed, and God bless you all. Thank you so much. Until we meet again. Goodbye.